Hello fellow modelers, Bruce here. Well, the question today is how much difference is there between scratch building a model and building the same model from a Campbell kit? And the answer is not a lot of difference. One of the primary things is that in the Campbell kit they provide the drawing. And in a true scratch build, you would do the drawing yourself. The other thing that the Campbell kit does is give you the lumber. But if you swap out your own lumber, that even lessens the difference between a scratch build and a Campbell build. And that's what I'm doing here. This diagram is for the Campbell pump house kit, which you've seen me build a mock-up for. And the reason I did the mock-up was that I was worried that this was too large of a structure and it would overpower the scene. And I finally decided that was the case. And so what I'm going to do, or decided to do, is just build the tower part of it and set it right down on the ground and put a much smaller structure next to it to act as the pump house to go along with it. And so I opened up the kit and I was going to just build the tower and save the structure for later, the pump house for later. And then I decided, when I looked at the lumber that was required, is why not use my own lumber, leave the kit alone, which I could either build later or pass on to another modeler. And that's what I decided to do. So I've made photocopies, 2 of them, so I can build, I'm going to need 4 of these tower sides, so I'll build 2 at a time. The lumber itself is a mixture of fractional and dimensional. The uprights are 1/32 by 3/32 timbers, and the horizontal supports are a combination. The bottom 2 are 1/32 by 3/32, and the next ones up are 1/32 by 1/16. I have all that lumber, and the diagonals are 2x4s, and I got plenty of that laying around. So I've stained those up. I've taped the drawings now to my board. I've cut a lot of the wood ahead of time right over the drawing, and I am about to start building the first 2 of these, and I'll show you that as I go. But again, there's a big difference between building a slot and tab laser cut kit and a scratch build. But when you look at something like the Campbell series, there's very little difference. And if you want to kind of hone your scratch building skills, just tackle one of the smaller Campbell kits and you'll get all the practice you want. All right, follow along. We'll build this together. Talk to you again soon. Well, the first 2 sides of the windmill support are done. Just getting them up off of the paper now. It's got a little bit of the double-sided tape down near the bottom and at the very top. Let's just get these off. One side, there's the other. Now 2 more to go. And we'll glue them together. See how things go. Alrighty, it doesn't take that long to get them, but get to it. I got a lot of the wood already cut. I just got to cut the 2x4s yet. Alright, I'll update you when I get the other 2 done. Talk to you then. Alright, time for an update on the build of this windmill tower. All 4 of the legs are now done and lifted off the paper. And at least nominally, when you stack them back to back, they all look identical, which is good. Same height, same dimensions. Those four have to be glued together. I have to build a base, a cap on top, and some trim up there. Some point pipe going down the middle. On the top, this is an old Model Power windmill that came in a set that had, a tractor, some farmers, I think some cows. I always thought the size of the blade on top always looked a little bit too big for the size of the tower itself. And I think it will look fine on the top of this one. The only thing I'm going to do is probably put a little wash of rust on the fan blades and cut it off at an appropriate height and glue it to the top. So will be the top of this windmill. It needs a ladder going up the side, so I've taken out my ladder jig. There's a ladder in here right now that's about 22 feet long. I need one that's 35 feet long. So I'm going to build another one using the jig. For raw stock, I need 2x4s. I got some from Northeastern here. I have some from Mount Albert. And this is an oldie, unknown manufacturer. Now, they're all supposedly 2x4s. And I'm sure that within, certain tolerance, they all are, but the reality is they're all a little bit different. So once I start building the ladder, I'll use all the wood from the same one. It doesn't really matter which one I use. Might use the Mount Albert just to use it up because I don't have much of it left. So build a 35-foot ladder, glue the four legs of the tower together, create a base on the top, and weather this up, and then cut the fan off and adhere it to here. Those are the next steps. All right, talk to you again soon. Well, there's about 16 foot of ladder done out of the 35 foot that I need to do. I've basically already loosened it up in the manner I've showed you before, where I come in and just kind of lift it carefully. Took the stop off the bottom. Now I'm going to move the ladder down into position for the next grouping. Get it nice and set where it's supposed to be here. I've cut a bunch of rungs for the ladder here. You really only need the tiniest bit of glue on each tip of the rung. You certainly don't want to have a lot of extra oozing out all over the place. So just a tap. And then put it into the jig and push the rung in place. Pick up the next one. Now the stain has taken differently on different rungs, so when the whole ladder is done, I'll go over the whole surface with Prismacolor marker and kind of even the colors out. Alright, another rung in place. And just work my way up the ladder. I let it dry for about 20 minutes and then pull it out and move it down. And I've talked before about this ladder jig. It has been well used over the last decade or so. Well worth the time it took to build it. And that's the Third rung in place right now. And up I go. Okay, another update time. A variety of the sub-assemblies are now done. The ladder is now complete and out of the jig. And you can see it's tall enough to reach from the ground all the way to the top, which is good. The four segments of the tower are glued together and fit fine. Have a platform on the top already. And now I'm going to do some trim work around the top. I'm going to make a wooden base at the bottom that this will sit on. That wood is stained, cut and stained, and is now drying. This will be the pipe that'll go down the center. Coffee stirrer, thin one. And I have put a thin wash of rust on the fan blades. So things are coming together, and the end is in sight. So start finishing this thing up, and then we'll come back and show you the end product. And the question still is it a scratch build or not? This all was scratch built using my own lumber. And just as I said, the only thing is I used the Campbell plans for it. This was scratch built, the ladder. And a true complete scratch build, of course, you'd be building your own windmill fan and so forth, and I'm not about to do that. As a younger man, I might have tried it, but I'm lucky my hands are steady enough now to build something like this, let alone the intricacies of fan blades and so forth. Alrighty, so we'll be back again soon. Talk to you then. Well, whether or not it's a scratch build in your estimation, it's done. And there you see I've cut the windmill top off of that tiny little base it had, and I've put it in position on the top of my tower. There is a pipe going down through the middle, giving the impression that there's a connection to a pump down there. There's that tall ladder going all the way up the side, and it's on a base, and it will fit nicely in, I think, in the position where, yeah, the Campbell pump house would have just overpowered it a little bit too much. So I think we're pretty much done with this build. What I'll do is finish up by bringing it over to the layout and putting it in at least the approximate position where it's going to be, and we'll finish up the video then. See you soon. Well, there it is in its approximate position. I can still play with that, obviously, but they have some means of getting water to this water tank now, and we'll have either that little shed or something similar to it. That shed is from the Bar Mill Shack Pack, and yeah, I can either put the windmill on the left here or on the right side of it, and we'll see ultimately shortly when I try to finish up this scene over here. Where I think it's going to fit best. I guess the fan could have been a little bit larger for that size tower, but that's an 8-foot diameter blade on there. And yeah, I think it looks all right. Let me just move it over this way a little bit, and you see it a little bit from the side. So that's it for this little build. Took a little break from scenery work here on the upper deck to finish up this little structure, and I'll get back to some scenery now, and then I have a couple of other structures I have to build that are interacting with the scenery over here, so we'll see how it goes. As always, if you enjoyed this little video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, please subscribe to my channel. Talk to you again soon.